Hi, everybody. This is Cheryl Richardson, and I am spontaneously jumping on Facebook Live and hoping that, excuse me, some of you will see this and join me. It's been a while, and like a lot of people, I thought it might be a good idea um, to just come on here and say a little bit about self-care during this crazy time. Unprecedented is the word, and it certainly is unprecedented, isn't it? It's a wild time, and I know it's a really challenging time for a lot of people, and I see a lot of you joining. So feel free to feel free to say hello. Hi, Brian and Teresa. Thanks, Terry. I'm glad you're here, and thanks for being here. Terry is my webmaster, and I just texted her and said, I'm going to jump on Facebook Live. Can you moderate for me? And she said, yep, I'll be right there. So I appreciate that so much. Hi, Jenny and Anne Marie and Kathy and Kath and Jessica. It's great to see all of you too. I know it's been a while. And, I have some self-care thoughts. No surprise, right? During this time. I guess, the first thing I want to say to you all is that we're all going to get through this, and we're probably going to get beyond this sooner than we expect, especially if we really follow the guidelines that we're being given in terms of just really restricting our exposure to others. And Michael and I have been home pretty much. I mean, in some ways, I have to say, I was just talking to my friend Melissa, one of my close friends, and we were both saying that I live a pretty boring life these days compared to most people, I guess. And so I'm home a lot. So in some ways it feels very familiar. And what I find is that the challenging part is the emotional part, right? It's just how I think about restriction and feeling trapped. Like the moment I start thinking, oh, there's so many things I can't do, then I start to feel anxious and uncomfortable. And so a lot of times, as I've always said, it's our thinking that gets us into trouble. And I want to talk a little bit about that and offer you some very specific advice, hopefully a bit unconventional, because I know we've all heard plenty of advice, a lot of really good advice about how to deal with these times, how to deal with this, needing to stay home as much as possible and to stay out of the way of others. And the more we do that, all of us, regardless of how old you are, regardless of where you are, the more we really restrict our activity in a dramatic way, the faster we're going to get through this. And so, and it's really an act of self-care, not only for ourselves, but for everyone else. It's like a group effort to really love and support one another by taking this seriously. I do I do sort of hold the belief that we're going to get through this more quickly. And I want to just offer some ideas for being able to do that in a way that might not only allow you to feel like you can survive this, but really maybe enjoy it, enjoy this time, and use this time to deepen your relationship with yourself and others, and to maybe build a stronger foundation for your self-care. I mean, these are some of the opportunities I see right now. So let me just say hi to a few people. Hey, Dimitri, welcome. And Andrea and Kevin, I'm glad you're here. And Jasmine and Annette and Donna Marie, Cindy, welcome to everybody. Hi, Lee and Rabiana and Rochelle, Andrea, Patricia. I see all of you, and I'm glad you're here. And I'm curious, let me just look at these comments here. Hi, Cynthia from Greece. Do me a favor and just feel free to post in the comments what some of your greatest challenges are right now, so I can hopefully help you with that. I can address that in some way. Kristen from Los Angeles, welcome. And Callisto from Trinidad, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, okay, great. So tell me what some of your biggest challenges are. Somebody here says, I'm home a lot too, but I miss my daily gym class. Yeah, I know. I miss the folks I work out with at the gym, they're doing virtual classes now, and I'm definitely doing those. I'm really blessed to be married to a fitness expert, so we have a nice gym in our home that I'm getting a lot of use out of these days. But it's not the same as being at a gym with people that you know and hang out with. And so anyway, I'm going to look and see what some of your challenges are, but let me say a few things that I think are really important. First of all, I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about depression and anxiety that happens when people start to feel cooped up. And then I want to talk about some things we can do to shift energy. They're kind of both the same, actually. I mean, they're both in similar veins. Here's the first thing I want you to know. Depression and anxiety, I'm just talking generally. I'm not a therapist, I'm a coach. You all know I'm a big advocate of therapy. I think virtual therapy is a great thing to be doing right about now. And I'm just talking about feeling kind of low mood, feeling sad, feeling anxious, feeling like just, yeah, just grief-stricken, whatever it might be. I'm talking about those sorts of things right now. What I want you to know is depression and anxiety actually feed off of routine. So we have neural networks in the brain that get formed, patterns of thinking. And when we get scared, of course, the fight, flight, or freeze part of our brain gets activated. We naturally get anxious. We go on high alert. We become hypervigilant. And in that hypervigilant state, it's very easy to feel anxious. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. I have felt it myself consistently. The first time I felt it really strongly was when Michael and I went to a supermarket last week, and there were so many shelves that were empty. Now, I've been through different situations like this before, so I knew we were in the store, we were gathering some things that we needed, and when we left and got in the car, I could feel anxiety coursing through my body. And I said to Michael, wow, not only am I feeling the unconscious reaction to empty shelves and feeling like there's a crisis, but also as a very sensitive woman and as an empathic woman, I'm picking up in the energy of every single person in that store. So there's that part, but then there's also this collective unconscious, the sort of collective conscious and unconscious energy of a global community where, as a sensitive woman, I can also pick up on, and often do pick up on the energy of what's going on in the world. And so in doing that, there are certain neural networks that then get triggered in the brain, certain patterns of thinking, ways of being, ways of thinking that contribute to feelings of depression, anxiety, for some people, panic. And so one of the great things you can do to shift that sense of anxiousness or depression, to shift the neural networks in the brain, is to begin to challenge simple routines. So for example, sometimes I'll be brushing my teeth, and while I'm brushing my teeth, I'll catch myself randomly thinking about things like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen today? Do we have enough food in the house? Like survival things. Is it going to rain? Am I going to be able to get outside? Is my mom okay? Or my in-laws okay? And I'll catch myself. This is the important thing. And all of a sudden I'll do something different. Like I'll stop brushing my teeth when I'm done. And instead of washing my face or like going through the typical routine, I'll leave the bathroom completely and do something different. Like I'll literally go downstairs and empty the dishwasher. Or I will, this morning I got up, and when I felt that a familiar network kick in, I opened the window in the bedroom, let the cool breeze come in, took the sheets off the bed and changed the sheets, like broke up the routine instead of getting up and going into the bathroom, and continuing with what I was doing, continuing with what I would typically do. Instead, I got up, took all the sheets off the bed, did a load of laundry. Like I said, opened the windows, and then I thought, oh, I'm going to open windows in other, because it was a nice morning. I opened windows in other parts of the house. Let's shift the energy in the house. Let's move the energy by getting windows open and letting fresh air in. Doing that whenever you can, if it's not too cold, depending on where you are, or too hot. Great way to just move energy. So breaking routines, daily routines, in simple ways. Sleep on the other side of the bed. If you sleep with somebody, trade sides. Change up your morning routine. If you typically go in and wash your face or take a shower or take a bath or brush your teeth, do something different. Go make a cup of tea first, or do the opposite. Work in a different room. So many of us are working from home right now, and I've got a laptop. So I actually move around the house. I'm constantly trying to break up what I typically do, because when you move your body differently, when you do things differently, when you break up routines, you interrupt those neural patterns that are going to make you feel anxious or depressed, generally speaking. Now, the tendency when we get anxious is to do familiar things over and over and over again. Go to a safe place that I always go to, or go online and start surfing the web, or like going to social media, which feels like a distraction. But the interesting thing is you can begin to develop patterns of thinking based on your social media exposure that actually winds up making you more anxious. Have any of you noticed that? Like, if your natural tendency is to go to the news, to go to CNN.com, or wherever it might, go to Instagram or to go to Facebook and start reading through your feed. If that's what you typically do when you start to feel anxious, do something different. Get up and clean out a junk drawer. Or if you can, throw on your sneakers and go outside, even a 10-minute walk. Or run in place, jog in place do like 25 jumping jacks. Like, literally move the body as quickly as possible to doing something different, and it's going to automatically begin to shift your brain patterns. So I'm always looking at how to shift energy, as I said, opening windows, opening doors, and letting screen doors be there. Putting on music, and putting on different kinds of music. I tend to be somebody who loves silence. I don't like any noise at all. But during times like this, to change things up, I'll actually put on an audiobook and be cooking a meal while I'm listening to an audiobook. Or I'll put on some music, or I will use my Insight Timer app on the iPhone and get into a bathtub and put on a guided meditation. Or I'll pick up a book and start reading, and do things like read things that you typically don't read. So, for example, if you're always reading self-help nonfiction, pick up a novel. If you're always reading fiction, read a biography. Change things up in some way. Taking a shower, immersing the body into water is another great way to change energy and to change your neural thinking, neural pathways. What else do I have here? Helping others. Asking yourself, what can I do for somebody today? I've been trying to do things like, for example, our local florist, who I love. I get flowers there all the time. She had to shut down. It's a single woman running a business by herself. I called her up and said, look, let me get some flowers from you. She was delivering flowers, dropping them on the doorstep. So I bought a whole bunch of flowers, knowing, let me help to buy out some of the inventory you have. I can afford it. I love flowers. I knew that I could give some away to people, which is what I'll be doing. If I'm walking with a friend, I can give her some flowers. Looking for ways that you can reach out to people, call people that, one of the things you can do is, I was talking with a friend the other day, and I said, do you have an elderly parent or elderly friends that could maybe use someone to talk to? Is there somebody I could call for you? And here's somebody you could call for me. When we focus on helping others, we take the focus, anxiety and depression is so if even for 5 minutes you can do something for someone else or think about how you might be able to help someone else, then you automatically begin to shift those neural patterns in your brain. That's why I love Louise Hay's calendar. Did you all see the affirmation today was about, I wish I had it here with me, but it was like the perfect affirmation for today, that we're all going to be okay, that we're going to get through this, that I forget exactly what it was, but looking at daily affirmations is another wonderful thing to do. You can go to CherylRichardson.com and go to the Touch of Grace button. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have a new Touch of Grace feature being in the works. But if you scroll to the bottom, you can just pick a grace card. Especially if you're feeling nervous, just go pick a grace card and notice what the message says to you. Pick up your journal. If you're somebody who has always wanted to journal and doesn't journal, this is a great time to begin. Pick up your journal and you can just make a list of 10 things you can't wait to do once this passes. Or 10 hopes that you have for the world. 10 things about this time that you're recognizing are important to you that maybe you didn't realize was important to you before. So there's so many things. I mean, I spent one whole year making a list of spontaneous affirmations in my journal every single day. And I repeated a lot of them, but it doesn't matter. So you could even do that. 10 things you're grateful for. 10 little things that bring you pleasure. 10 things that you saw today. Little things like, I saw a little red squirrel eating at my bird feeder and I was happy. Last night I caught a raccoon at the bird feeder. I didn't catch a raccoon. But I found a raccoon at my bird feeder eating some seed and I was so excited to see her. I have a funny feeling it's a mom who's pregnant. I've had her here before and I was thrilled. I was happy to see her and that would go on my list. So these are some ideas. Let me look here and see. I see lots of comments. So I'm going to scroll through. Hey, Julie, it's so nice to see you. Julie does my eyebrows. Can you see my eyebrows, Julie? I love them. She tattooed my eyebrows quite a while ago. And I love having that done because I don't like having to do makeup. Let's see. I love this. Donna Marie says, changing sides of the bed with my husband doesn't go well. Okay, that's why you need to change sides, okay? You need to absolutely, because I know Michael's the same way. If I said to him, let's change sides, he'd be like, no, all my stuff is here. Yeah, all the more reason to change the sides. So let's see, what else do we have here? Let me see what else you're saying. I'm throwing myself in selling my jewelry on live shows online. That's awesome. Yes, getting outside. Any time you can get outside, people, take advantage of this. And when you go outside, go out with the intention to find 5 little treats that life or God or divine intelligence, Mother Nature, let's think of it that way. 5 little treats that Mother Nature has placed in your path while you're there, and make note of them when you get home. Like, look for that. Yeah, go for a walk with family members. Clutter clearing, good idea. Let's see. Online workshops. Yeah, I know Robert's in Spain and says they've closed up everything and I'm self-employed. This is a time for us to get creative, being self-employed. It's like, I'm amazed at the creativity that's happening with the way that people are doing things online, the way people are teaching online, teaching their kids online. Is there something you have to offer that may have nothing to do with what your business is about right now, but Robert, but is something that, so it looks like you're a personal trainer. Make it simple for people. Let people know that every morning at 10 o'clock, you'll be online to give them a really fun 20-minute workout. And donations, even. A lot of people are being so generous with donations these days. Rachel says, I splurged on a donut just now and I swear it made me feel better. I did that like 2 weeks ago, Rachel. I hadn't had a donut in so long and I went and bought myself one. It was awesome. It was delicious. Let's see. What else do we have? Let me see what other, yeah, Julie got her elderly neighbor groceries. That's awesome. Gardening really helps. Yep, I actually have soil and I'm planting seeds now for the garden. And I have this jasmine plant. Let me show you this, people. Let me see if I can show you this. I had this little jasmine plant that I bought at a florist and I decided to repot it. Hang on. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Can you see my jasmine plant right there? I hope you can see that. It was this little plant and every day it's just going crazy and it makes me so happy. It's like my little friend. And I feel like, it keeps me connected to nature, especially when it's raining or if it's cold out. So gardening, if it's raining and I can't be outside, just having plants around is great. Let's see, what else? I love these ideas too. If you've got some, put them in there. Let's see. Planning. I've been doing simple things too, people. Like, this is going to sound so silly, I know, but this morning when I changed the beds, I thought, oh, when's the last time I washed the mattress pads, the mattress covers? And I thought, let me do that on all the beds. That would be a great thing. Or I went for a hike a few days ago and I wound up in the woods in the mud. And I thought, I'm going to wash all my sneakers, any shoes. I can't tell you the last time I don't even know if I've ever put sneakers in a wash machine. But I found out you can do that. And I washed sneakers. And I thought, how hysterical is that? Like, what other kind of deep cleaning maybe haven't I done? Maybe you take off shower curtains and you wash those. Now, this isn't just because, how great you're home anyways, you might as well do it, but it's about doing different things that you don't typically do. Changing up the patterns of behavior the ways that you move throughout your day so that you change the neural networks that are going to get you stuck in running to the news, which isn't going to be very helpful on a regular, consistent basis. You can actually, trust me, as long as you're home and taking good care of yourself, you can probably check into the news once a week and be okay. So let's see. Yeah, so Jessica says, can you share some strategies for empaths on how to cope with the environment right now? Really important, I find, as somebody who's an empath, I can only be there for others in specific doses, and then I need to go move my body. I need to either do like a 10-minute workout, get outside, maybe take a nap. I think it's important, be very, very careful about exposing yourself to the news and online stuff. Just stop it. Stop putting yourself in that situation where you're being, you're just seeing a lot of doom and gloom and a lot of opinions and a lot of misinformation, by the way. Lots of misinformation. Let me turn this light down here. There's a lot of misinformation out there right now. Not a good idea. So I would encourage you to limit that exposure and keep asking yourself, what do I need to take care of myself right now? Drinking water, really important, believe it or not. So we're electric beings. And energetically, if you don't have enough water in your body, the body is set to give you a sense of anxiety as an alert that it needs oxygen, it needs water, it needs rest, it needs silence. These are all vital self-care ingredients that are especially important to empaths. Restricting time with people who are doom and gloom and angry, frustrated drama. Now, look, we are all dealing with this situation in a variety of ways. Some people get really irritable and angry. Some people get very rigid and controlling. Some people get depressed and quiet. Some people get hypervigilant. please God, we need compassion for one another right now more than ever. We really need to be compassionate. I'm on the phone all day long with people, coaching people through challenging situations, and I'm finding that any kind of trauma, any kind of loss brings up unhealed, undealt with losses, brings up old losses, old trauma. So we need to be compassionate with one another. That said, if you're highly sensitive and empathic, you need to really limit the amount of time you spend with people who are going to be uh, chronically negative. You can be there for them off and on, but limit the amount of time, because then energetically you're going to have to go back to, what do I need to do to shift the energy, to clean my energy? A shower is a great way to clean energy. Cleaning sheets, opening windows, like changing the air, these kinds of things. That's why those things are really important. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, virtual online music lessons, really great. Online yoga, awesome. Looking for when you're out, remember I talked about looking for little ways that Mother Nature has decided to delight you for the day. Looking at the crocuses that are coming up, with their daffodils that are in bloom here in the Northeast, feels like a delight from Mother Nature. Let's see. Yeah, Juan says, Louise Hay and yourself inspired me to write a self-empowerment book, but I had to cancel my very first book launch today. Was down the whole day yesterday, but allowed myself to experience my emotions and face my fears. Today, after having experienced my emotions, I feel much better. So Juan, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, in a comment, Terry, do me a favor, honey, and will you look for this, Juan? Tell me the name of your book and give us a link to your book in the comment section here. Okay. And then I will invite everybody, as you're watching this or when you watch this later on, to check out Juan's book. Tell us the title of the book, sweetheart. And let's see if we can give you a little bump now. And here's what's so important about what Juan said. Let yourself feel your feelings, people. This kind of sucks right now. And it is scary. And, depending on your physical health or the health of your loved ones, it's very easy to feel like, we're faced with, a plague of our time or something. And so allowing ourselves to feel our feelings will help you to move through it more quickly. Of course you felt disappointed, Juan. This came out of nowhere and it's interrupted a lot of people's lives. And I'm so sorry that happened right at the time that you were going to launch your book. So, feel free to put, any of you, by the way, if you've got something that you're selling online, put a link to it here. Let's share it. And then let's go back, everybody, and go through. And if somebody's writing about something or teaching something online or doing something that you could really benefit from, and you've got some extra money to support them, take advantage of it. Go to their link and support them. That would be awesome. All right. Uncertainty does suck, Cheryl. I mean, we hate that as human beings. We don't like uncertainty at all. We want to be able to predict, so many of us right now feel out of control. That's why we hoard toilet paper and paper towels, and people grab all this stuff because it gives us an illusion of control. The reality is, people, we actually don't have a lot of control in life. Life is uncertain. And so in some ways, we can use this time to practice being with uncertainty. And guess where the most important place to anchor yourself to is during uncertain times? It's especially important when we're not in difficult times, because then it serves you during times like this. I'm watching the birds fly outside. The most important place to anchor yourself is in here, to yourself as a soul. And because you are a soul and your personality is the ego. They need to work hand in hand in order to function in this world, but the soul needs to be running the show. This is a perfect time to get quiet, to spend 10 minutes set an alarm. I say this all the time when I do Facebook Lives. I am so grateful that January 1st, I made a promise to meditate every single day for 2020, and I know I will do it beyond. And I'm now meditating 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a day, and for much longer than 10 minutes. And it is such a gift because now I look forward to it. I know it's going to anchor me to this this quiet place inside that allows me to then come out and be there for others in a sane and helpful way. And mostly to be there for myself, for the empaths out there to know when I need to stop, when I need to take a break, when I need to not pick up the phone, when I need to go for a walk, so that I can get rejuvenated and re-energized to then be there for my family, my husband, Michael, and my loved ones, and then all of you as well. So I love this. Cindy says, I rearranged my furniture. What a great idea. Yes, that's exactly what I mean about changing routines. Rearrange your furniture. Like, you know what, Cindy, I might actually do that in my office. I'd be curious to see what it would be like if I move things around. It's a great way to change the neural programming that creates anxiety and depression. Okay. Julie's on Instagram following chefs who are teaching great simple recipes. I'm going to check that out because I love learning how to cook more. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Lots of great ideas here, people. So please come back and go through these comments. I love all of you. You're so creative. Zoe says she FaceTimed with her mom last night. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day was one of my dad's favorite days. My dad passed away 3 years ago now, over 3 years ago. And so we all used to try and get together on St. Patrick's Day. Certainly my brothers and my mom and my dad would go to a local Irish pub. So we all FaceTimed. Now, you can just imagine, we're all FaceTiming. There's 7 of us kids, my mom, there was the in-laws. So, I mean, just imagine what it was like. My poor mom's on her iPad, and we're trying to talk her through connecting with us as a group on her iPad. Thank God for one of the grandkids who popped in to say her iPad wasn't updated to be able to use the group FaceTime. This was after 10 minutes of going, Mom, press this button, Mom, do this. And she's like, I'm doing it. It's not working. She was right. We didn't have the right technology. It wasn't, she didn't have the right iPad. Anyway, she could hear us. She just couldn't see us. So all of us, there was like all these faces on FaceTime. And we did a toast to my dad using FaceTime. And it was awesome. It was great. You can use Zoom. Zoom is like everybody and their mother's using Zoom now. And it's so easy. So you can download that app. It's wonderful to be able to be with people. And certainly like this with Facebook Live. Let's see. What else do we have here? Look at all you people here. I'm so glad you're here with me. Yeah, lots of people. Look at all this. I love that you're sharing what you're doing and what you're offering to people. I think it's great. This is great. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of new comments. Okay, well, you know what? So there's so many comments here. I'm going to read through them later. I will be back doing Facebook Lives. I've toyed with the idea of like coming on and maybe doing like a project a day or something like that together. Let me know how I can help you. Let me know what kind of support you need. Feel free to put it here in the comment section. I'll be sure to read through them. And when I do a future Facebook Live, I'll address some of them. So to just recap what I said, feeling stir-crazy, feeling kind of depressed, sad, anxious, panicked in some way, the first line of defense is your thinking. It's our thoughts that contribute to the feelings of anxiety. Limit your exposure to the news. Limit your exposure to social media, the drama of social media. Look for the best, most helpful sources of social media. Look at how you can change your routine from what do you do in the morning, the afternoon, the evening? For a lot of you, your routines are changing, I know, because you're now working at home. Make sure you're changing up your routines on a regular basis and think of yourself in terms of energy. What can I do to shift the energy? Get up and move, open windows, change the sheets, take a shower, get your body into water. All of those things are going to automatically, those are external ways to change the internal thinking that that gets us into trouble. And then, my crown jewel, the most important one, 10 minutes, quiet, close your eyes. Your mind is going to do everything in its power to convince you that you need to get up from that 10 minutes. And I want you to say to yourself, say to your mind, I'm a soul, you are my servant. We're staying here until that alarm goes off. We're going to make friends with each other, but I'm the boss. That's the deal. All right. I love you all. And I promise you, we're going to get through this. We lived through 9/11. We've been through other public illnesses before. We've been through the crash of 2008. One of the advantages of being older is I know without a doubt that we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it quicker than you think. So hang in there, and I'll be back. I'll make, as a matter of fact, I'll make announcements on here when I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives. And in the meantime, if you're in trouble, if you need some support in some way, do me a favor, just, well, first of all, Psychology Today has a wonderful Find a Therapist website. And there's lots of therapists doing virtual support right now, and it works. It's wonderful. I've been doing therapy virtually for the last 2.5 years, and it's wonderful. So we'll put that link here when we finish. And if there's something that you need, put it in the comment section, some kind of support you need, and we'll do some future Facebook Lives to help you out with that as well. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me. Sending you lots of love, sending you a virtual hug, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you again soon. All right. Bye.